I'm one of those women who have never quite fit in, and I probably never will. But I've found it's one of my best qualities.
Hi, how are you? So, this is my very much unpopular opinion, and people don't talk enough about the emotional availability part of having kids. When people are always say that, it's so funny that when people speak about having kids, they always speak about, ooh, no, I'm not financially, I want to be like, maybe when you guys are having a conversation, no, I want to be financially stable, then I can have a child. And I just look and I'm thinking, why are people thinking that children just need money to survive? Like, why? I'm not saying you shouldn't be financially stable, but why is it like the first and actually not even the first and the only thing? I've actually never heard. I think I'm actually one of the very few people, or maybe the only person who always thinks of, okay, so I don't have a child, for anyone that doesn't know, but whenever, obviously the topic of children come up and like having kids and stuff, I always think I never, the financial part of it, I feel that is like a given. Whether I have kids or not, I am gonna be financially stable. I am gonna be wealthy. I am gonna be rich. So it's not even about the kids. The part that is more, the part that is actually more important to me is, will I be emotionally available for my children? Will I be emotionally stable to be a mother and like to be a good mother? And I've noticed people don't actually even think about that, and people never actually think about that. And I feel like that is a big problem, because then we have, like, I feel like this is like the root, people not actually thinking about the emotional strength, or like the emotion, what do I want to say, the emotional maturity that you need to have kids. People don't speak about that, and it's actually, or don't even think about that, and it's actually like the root of a lot of problems that we have in South Africa altogether, or like as humanity, because right now our orphanages are overflowing, and not all kids that are in orphanages were kids that were unwanted. I'm sure that you guys know that. It's not all kids that are in the orphanages because they were poor, right? You are aware of that. I used to volunteer at this other orphanage, and at this orphanage where I was volunteering, that's actually where I learned all of this, and I was made aware of such a harsh reality that people just think, okay, having kids, I need to have money. So what are you saying? Are you saying that you if you decide not to have kids, then you will not have the money? Or are you saying that like, what? It never makes sense to me, because I always think, there is so much emotional maturity, there's so much emotional strength that is actually required for you to be a parent. And if you don't think or actually look at fixing yourself emotionally and mentally, it's like when people think of having kids and being parents, they think more of the material stuff, like, okay, I need to be financially stable. But then what about emotional stability, emotional maturity, emotional availability? Are you available enough emotionally to actually share yourself with someone, with this little human being that you brought into this world and that has no one else to look up to but you and obviously the other parent? Like, are you emotionally available for that? Are you emotionally strong for that. And I know that, like, with this opinion, a lot of people will be like, no, you learn along the way. Yes, you learn along the way, but then what is the messed up part about that? While you're learning along the way, your child is growing, and you're actually damaging your child because you are still learning. You can't teach your child anything because you are still learning yourself. And that is actually something that you should have done before the child even got here. So, that is my unpopular opinion. People don't even think or even speak about the emotional maturity and the emotional strength and the emotional stability that actually comes with having children. People just think having children is just about being financially stable, and it's not. That's why we've got so many adults that are messed up because of traumas from their childhood. You see where this is going. The trauma from the childhood is coming from the parent that actually never dealt or actually never prepared themselves emotionally and mentally to be a mother. They were so focused on the material things, like they were so focused on having, like, on being able to provide for the child, that they didn't think that the child needs more than just financial stability. Child needs more. Yes, you are gonna buy the nappies, right? You're gonna buy the nappies, the food, pay their school fees and whatever. But then are you gonna be there for, when they're being bullied at school? Are you gonna be there to actually teach them that you shouldn't be shy, be confident? Are you gonna be there to, to be just a mother that a child can say, you know what? I had a great relationship growing up, I had a great relationship with my mother because my mother was always there for me. Like, I never felt alone. Because I think that's where the emotional part comes in. Like, your child never feeling alone, ever. Because your child feels like my mom is always there. My mom is always available. And I think with this opinion that I have, that's why I made this decision long time ago. That when it comes to having kids, I have conditions. Like, I always say, when it comes, and obviously even the people that I date, like even my partner knows this, like everyone knows this, people around me, obviously. And even when I date, that's like the first one of the first few things that I always let the guys know, so that if you're not okay with it, let's not even waste each other's time, because this is my decision, and obviously I cannot force you to accept my decision, but it's my decision and I'm not gonna change it because I took it for a reason. So it's fine, let's just go our separate ways, right? But I always say it's either I am a stay-at-home mom or I'm not a mother at all. And the reason that I say that is because of the same opinion that I have. Like, I want to be there for my children so much that my children never even understand. Like, when they hear their kids at school talking about, oh, my mom is never around, or like, oh, I haven't seen my mom in a long time, or like, oh, I'm scared to tell my mom this. My kids won't understand that because I'll always be there. Like, from the time when they go to school in the morning, I'm there, we getting ready for school together. I drop them at school. I'm home, okay, during the day while they're at school, and then after school I pick them up. I'm asking them about their day. Maybe we go for ice cream on our way home. Like, I just want that sort of relationship. That's why for me also, like, you see, this opinion that I have, it actually influences a lot of decisions in my life that I have made, and a lot of goals that I have, because to me it's like, then if that's what I want for my children, then it is a non-negotiable, and it is a non-negotiable that the man that I'm going to be with, or I'm going to be married to and having children with, must be a man that is masculine enough to be okay to be a sole provider. Because I don't want to be a career woman and be a mother. Because I don't want to be splitting. I don't want to be sharing. I don't want to be sharing myself with, like, splitting myself in two. Like, during the day I have to be the boss at work, and then in the afternoon, I come back home, I'm tired, my kids are already home from school, I don't even know how their day went, their homework, they probably have done their homework already. Like, to me, the point that I'm actually making is having kids is more than just about financial stability. And that is a problem that we have, and that people are not actually. Having kids is more than just about financial stability. And I feel that is actually the biggest problem that we have in as humanity, as a country, as a whole, as just like the world. It's not about just financial stability. There is the emotional part of having kids, and people not dealing with the emotional part of having kids is the reason why our orphanages are overflowing. Is one of the reasons, sorry, not the only reason. It's one of the reasons why our orphanages are overflowing. It's one of the reasons why there's so many cases of kids being found thrown away in like trash cans or whatever. There is so many situations of kids that run away from home. There is so many situations of kids that grow up and there is so many kids that have actually grown up to be messed up adults because their parents were actually not emotionally stable to have children, and people don't speak about that enough. I feel like that is it's so wrong. People don't speak about that enough. The emotional maturity, strength, and stability that is needed for you to have children. That is why, and you know what makes this more sad, and actually what makes me more sad about this issue is that when it's like a cycle. When I'm gonna have it, if my mother had me and she wasn't like emotionally stable to have me, which it's a case for like a lot of people, because especially I don't know maybe if it's because we are blacks or not, but I've seen that when it comes to us, our parents don't speak about the past traumas as kids. So that's why you'd find that your mother being emotionally unavailable or being an emotional wreck and actually ruining your life as a child is because that's how her mother was to her. And because this is something that we don't discuss, she grew up and she thought that was normal, and then she decided, okay, now I'm financially stable. If she did decide, because obviously most of the time people don't, but if she did, she was like, okay, now I'm emotional stable, let me have a child. And then she had you, and she hadn't dealt with the traumas that her mother, when she was growing up with an emotionally unstable and unavailable mother, making her also an emotionally unstable and an emotionally unavailable mother, meaning that you are also, if you don't fix it. So it's like a cycle. The grandmother was never, especially, I'm actually speaking more about the women because, well, I'm a woman. I wouldn't know about the guys. I don't know what guys deal with in terms of being a father, but as a woman, with my understanding, it's like the grandmother was raised by a woman that was emotionally unavailable and unstable to have kids, but because society told her that she had to have kids when she's financially stable, or because she's married and financially stable, she has to have kids. No one actually cared about the emotional part of it. And then your grandmother grew up to be an emotionally unstable and unavailable mother to your mother. And now your mother is an emotionally unavailable and unstable mother that had you because she was either financially stable or married, and society told her once you have one of these two, you actually are good to have a child, while she actually never dealt with the grandmother, her mother, being emotionally unstable and emotionally unavailable. So what does that mean? That means you are also going to be the exact same way. You are going to be the exact same way unless you deal with it. So having kids, it's not just about the money. You don't have to. Emotional, financial stability, you are going to have that whether you decide to have kids or not. So don't say the kids, it's like no, there's so much that actually comes with having kids. Anyways, supposed to be a short video, but obviously it wasn't. But thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, so please deal with the emotions and your mental state before you have children. Children are not just here to be fed and just here for your financial stability. They actually need so much more than that. So much more. And if you don't fix that, you're just going to be starting this cycle of bad parenting. And it's not even bad parenting intentionally. It's like your mother never dealt with. Firstly, no, your grandmother was emotionally unstable and unavailable, and then she gave birth to your mother, who then grew up to be emotionally unstable and available. So just to wrap everything up, all I'm saying is children need more than just financial stability. And please deal with your emotions before you have a child. Please just work on yourself, because I know that as Black people, as a Black society, we actually deal with so much in terms of our emotions and our mental health, but that's not something that we speak about. So now that we're actually more awake and more aware as this generation, just deal with your emotions before you have kids, so that you don't give birth to future messed up adults because you never dealt with yourself before you had kids. Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk and have a lovely day.